Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. Hey, Pirates, we're going to have an awesome day today, and I just wanted to introduce another pirate that has been in my life for a lot of years, been a mentor, been an influence, and I just wanted to bring him on and share a few things that you're doing, Mark. So welcome to the Pirate Broadcast.
Hey, I'm happy to be here, Russ. I'm surprised it took us this long to do this. To your point, you've been part of the Dowley family and previous families for a long time. So we're happy to be here.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because we've worked together for a lot of years, and one of the things that you've always shared with me and encouraged me to do is, just expand, Russ, expand your team, get things out there. And one of the things that you do very well is you build teams and you've expanded your business. And it's really one of those things that you see beyond the day-to-day, the task, and you kind of expanded what you're doing now. And, you've expanded Dowley and the security business. You've grown it over the last years. How many years have you been there?
A little over 6 now. Came here at the, actually almost 7. Came here at the end of 2014. And, as you know, this company was not in the best of shape when I got here. And,
right.
But, it was truly an opportunity, right? As we discussed before, as we get a little older, we get a few experiences under our belt. And, the one thing about Dowley, having visited with the board, it presented an opportunity to really get a group of people together that I had done work with in the past, that I had a lot of confidence in, that I knew really well. And that's 99% of our success right there is getting the right team of people together. And we are very, very fortunate to do that. And it's been a good ride. We've, as you know, because you keep in touch and we work together a lot. You've done a lot of marketing work for us, and which has been very helpful to our growth as well. But we have truly done what would be considered amazing things with this company, and I do attribute that to the team of people that we built here, and everybody here is kind of on the same page, and we all have the do whatever it takes mentality. I like to tell everybody we got a great group of A players here, a great group of starters, but we don't have a really deep bench. So it helps keep costs down, but makes us very efficient. And I know in the old days when you left for a day, you were scared that the whole place would fall apart. And I'm confident enough now in the team that we got that I can go wander away for a few days if I have to, and everything's going to be okay. So,
and it's a beautiful thing because I know there have been many instances where you feel that feeling of dread when you have to go away, you have to step away for something else, and the next thing you know, you come back and there's a long list of inbox messages that you have to deal with.
Exactly.
And you built an amazing team. You've added fire and safety to the inventory of products, and now you're adding the cybersecurity. We got a live stream going to be coming up on the 5th of May that we're going to be talking about a lot of that stuff for you on your behalf.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that this morning, and when we first got to Dowley, the real focus was on our core business till we got this company headed in the right direction and turned profitable. But every year since then, we have picked an initiative to expand the business, to grow the revenue streams. And one year, obviously, it was the fire and life safety business, which is now just an integral part of our company and probably, makes up about a quarter of our revenues. So it's been a great builder for us. And then towards the middle of last year, we selected cybersecurity offering to present as part of our product and service portfolio. And we're just now getting to the point of a good launch of that, which you've been very involved in as well. So yeah, we're We were actually, before we started this morning, talking about the live stream that's coming up. I believe it's May 5th. Is that the right date?
Yeah, May 5th.
But yeah, everybody's excited. I know we have some of the East Entire people joining us as well. So it should be a great one.
The other thing that I know that we added for you on your product line was with Stephen and the service products, the maintenance, and that has been a huge boost to the business as well, as I understand.
It's it has been well, I think we have a lot of shining stars around here. He and his department are one of the shiniest without question. I mean, the other thing, I talk a lot about the people, but also in our industry, you have to be good at what you do. And I have a tremendous amount of confidence that we are very good at what we do. And the service department is just a fantastic example of that. And they've actually outpaced the growth of the company, and the growth of the company is actually pretty staggering. So, but they've done a great job. And, it's interesting, Russ, when we got here, if you remember, Dowley had offices in Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and Houston. And we now generate more revenue out of Houston or actually almost 3 times as much revenue out of Houston as they did out of all of those offices when we got here. So it's
I think that's a reflection on the leadership that's been in place. And I know working with you, I've learned so much over the years.
We caught a couple of breaks, and I want to talk about that a little bit. We were very fortunate that we didn't have a lot of our revenue tied up in the energy business, which, as you know, is a real roller coaster ride down here. Sure. Depending on what's going on around the world, what's going on in Washington, you just never know. But if you look at our business model, we're really focused. Our 3 largest verticals are education, healthcare, and state and local government, right? Which are 3, if you really put some thought into it, 3 pretty recession-proof verticals, right? Anybody who lives in Texas knows that almost every school district here is passing massive bonds for security.
Yeah.
And we benefited from that, absolutely no doubt. I think we did work in 26 different school districts over the last 2 years, and also a lot of colleges, universities, junior colleges. The junior colleges here, especially recently during the pandemic, when a lot of kids chose to stay at home, the enrollment in junior colleges has just mushroomed. And then state and local government, we don't do any federal government work here, but we do a lot of work, let's say, out of the Port of Houston, or a lot of state agencies here in Texas, which has been a great market. And then, that Houston's pretty renowned for its healthcare facilities, which again is a huge market for us. So if you take those 3 verticals, it makes for a pretty good business model to continue our growth.
And the reality is that adding the cybersecurity makes it just kind of glue that binds it, because there's so many people that are interested in protecting and bordering up their internet walls and their infrastructure in terms of their information, and it just makes total sense that you're there working not only on the cameras, access control, but also the data that is inside the infrastructure and the facilities.
I think people would actually be very, very shocked to know how many people there are around the globe whose full-time job, just like you and I get up and go to work every morning, they get up and go to work every morning, and their job is to hack networks. I mean, it's a staggering amount of people, and as you read all the time, they're quite successful at it. With we've had a couple of customers, not that we were performing cybersecurity work for before, but have been victims of ransomware.
Yeah,
and they either pay it, which is painful, or they don't pay it, and the consequences can be extremely more painful. When they wipe out, every every bit of server data you have, and you've lost all your email history. And in this case, it was an education facility that lost all their enrollment data. It just went on and on and on. And I think in hindsight, they wish they had paid the ransomware. And actually, it's some of the simplest things, Russ. An employee clicking on a link in a spam email that introduces a virus to the network, or something as simple as that, can end up costing an organization hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage.
Yeah, millions of dollars of damage.
Yeah, at least. So,
and so protecting environments like that, not only from the physical layer all the way up to the data layer, it's just a brilliant move. And when I heard that you were doing that, it was like, okay, that's so much sense to me. And I'm surprised that it's not happening more in the world of security, but leaders lead. The one thing that I wanted to talk about though is as you roll out new products, there's a learning curve. There's, getting pieces of the puzzle in place. We're upgrading the website, we're upgrading the information, we're creating some material that we can share out, brochures, things like that. And it's an evolution. So as a CEO, how do you navigate some of those choices? And what do you look at when you're looking at decisions to make or add a product line or change a vendor or some of these things that are in place? What's the thought process you go through, Mark, to think about that process?
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, when I got here,
you had a ton of lines.
I think the attitude of the company here was, if we could buy a widget for $1 and put a markup on it and sell it, that's what we did. And therefore, they sold hundreds of products, maybe 5 of them, which they were actually trained to sell and service, right? And so, we whittled that down really quickly to what we consider to be the A players in the marketplace for each of those categories you just talked about, for video surveillance, for access control, for fire and life safety. Mm-hmm. And that does mean, the last thing salespeople want to hear is there's certain opportunities you got to pass on, right? But it does allow us, in my opinion, to maintain a high level of certification and training and knowledge and be very good at what you do. Don't try to be everything to everybody, but master a really defined set of products, and be very, very good at it, which is what we do. And then, we rely on our partners a lot, and frankly, they're very good. They obviously are very proud of their products as well. So when you're out representing them in the marketplace, they'd like you to be good at representing them. And so they're willing to give you really all the training that you need. And so we rely on them a lot for that. And then, obviously we've used you for years. In fact, it's kind of funny. You ought to take a second and take credit for that logo on the wall there. That's your work. If you remember when we first got here, we had the pale blue, and you presented this logo to me, and I kind of looked at it, and I remember your words. You told me, that's what's going on today. The grays and the blacks, and you remember this too, with a splash of color. And our red ring was our splash of color around the edge there. So, people, for whatever reason, you've got a couple sets of people that love training and love to learn, and you've got other people that really don't want to spend their time in a training class. So, a lot of times you got to force them to use it. But I will tell you at the same time, salespeople will sell what they know. Right? If they know that product well, they know what it does, and they know how to explain that to a client, then they're much more effective in their roles. And I think we've done a pretty good job of conveying that to people and having them invest the time they need to know their products and know them well.
Well, you have an amazing uh, line of products that you've narrowed it down. You've been very focused, and I've worked with some of your vendors on marketing efforts, and they're really great to work with. They're very knowledgeable. The camera selection, the interfaces that you use, and some of the things that you've produced and installed over the years, and it's one of those things that, like you said, when you get very focused on what it is, it just seems to improve the business because people know what you're providing. They know exactly who to talk to when they're coming in the door, and they know what you can provide, and it's crystal clear.
Yeah.
And you know, you want to help everyone. However, it may not be the best fit. And I think making that message clear and easy to understand is part of the process. Like you said, your three verticals, the education, state government, and medical is really a great set of verticals to work through. And they're always in need of something. It's always evolving businesses. It's always changing. It's always in need of some activity that you can go back to and make sure that you're helping support their business as well.
Yeah, I mean, Russ, it's one of the greatest things about this industry, right? This industry has just a tremendous amount of runway left. I mean, it's if you look at the technology. I mean, we're sitting here just probably more than half now, 60-70% even of the cameras out in the world are old analog and digital cameras, right? It's kind of like the 6 o'clock news story where they have the video of the guy robbing the convenience store, but it's so grainy. I don't know how they ever tell who those people are, right? But
yeah,
I mean, we do a lot of projects because security is one of the last really kind of facilities type technologies to actually move to the network, right? And so we're doing we did a change out for a school district where we changed out 4,600 cameras to IP cameras to put them on their network. And, education facilities too have some very unique storage requirements, a lot of them dictated by either state, federal, or local laws, right? And so it's very important for them to, they make that determination of whether they're going to store that video on site or in the cloud or whatever they do, but they have to store video. And so they have some massive storage requirements, if you can imagine.
Well, that brings up another topic because over the years, you've seen the difference between physical access, putting a lock on a door and access control versus IP based information and getting on the network. Because I remember years ago, the IT department didn't want to have anything to do with security.
No, they're a strange bunch. We have to work with them, but. You know what? I'll tell you, there's a certain sense of satisfaction, when there is an incident, right? And some of the technology that you put on their site captures that incident and helps bring justice, if nothing else. And and we've had a few of those, which are and it's kind of rewarding, and we're happy about that. Reliability in our industry is so very, very key because you don't want to be that company on the 6 o'clock news where something happened. They said, oh yeah, they had security cameras, but they weren't working. And I'm just going to go, no. So
I want to shift gears. So do you remember the first job that you ever had, Mark?
Yes, I do. Absolutely. First couple of jobs. I threw a little local newspaper around the neighborhood, and then I had every young teenager's dream job, which was working at a Baskin-Robbins ice cream store.
Oh, beautiful!
Yeah, it was some of the best summers ever.
Yeah.
So, but,
did you think back then that you'd be sitting where you are today?
At that age, you probably don't really think about it, but I took one of those personality profile assessments once, and it was a long one. It took hours and hours, and they send you a book about that thick back when you're finished. But bottom line, it says that I either needed to be a CEO or a police officer. So I don't know what that was telling me, but my wife got a good laugh out of that one. But I think prior to this role, I had a lot of it's all about having opportunities and being prepared for those opportunities and working for some people that had enough trust in you to give you that opportunity. And I'm one of those people that firmly believes the success of any company all starts with sales, right? Because as you hear around here, if you don't have any sales, the rest doesn't really matter. There's no work for your team, there's no revenue, there's no cash. And so, I grew up in a sales world. Before I got into sales, I hated salespeople. I thought they played a lot of golf, ate nice meals, just made a lot of money. And but I truly do understand the value of salespeople, what they bring to a business, as well as marketing, because I thought the marketing people had it made. Sales were good; they took all the credit. If they were bad, they passed off all the credit to the sales team. But if you can get a sales engine really working and really cranking, then the old adage that sales cures a lot of ills, right? But anyway, so I worked my way up to sales organization, and then I found myself in a situation where they were going to take vertical sales and ops organizations and migrate that into a GM model, where the leader of the business would actually have responsibility for both sales and operations. And I was fortunate enough to have that opportunity and really enjoyed it. And then I had a couple of COO roles, which is a great role, by the way. I mean, the COO role in my mind is a role where you're just basically responsible for carrying out the business plan of the CEO, right? And I enjoyed that role a lot. But as you go through these, and you always, or at least I did, desired the opportunity to have the CEO role, to make decisions and or implement ideas and actually see the results, of that for both your shareholders. And the other thing, everybody has a boss, right? You've heard that adage.
Yeah.
But when you get here, you report to a board. So in my case, I have 8 bosses. So I don't know if that was a better thing or not, but I've truly had the opportunity, and I think it makes all the difference in the world to work for some great people, some good mentors, some good companies, and the time at Dowley's just been it's been a great ride. It's been good.
Yeah, it's been a great ride. I want to say hi to Mike Baker in from Florida. He's here. Good morning, Russ and Mark. Fred Costa also. Fred, we love working with security companies. Great introduction. If you're not connected with Mark on LinkedIn, you might want to reach out and say you're a pirate. So Fred says we're all in sales.
Fred is absolutely right.
Yeah.
No question about it.
At some point in time, we're all in sales. And the reality is that the other thing that I think would be really important to note is that you probably had mentors along the way. You had people that encouraged you and gave you guidance on some things. And just like myself, you've been a great mentor for me and a great influence in my life. And we've been friends for a while. And I just really think that it's important for business owners to understand that learning, growing, expanding your message and what you're doing, and seeing that vision and having an idea about where you're going to go. You may not have all the answers at this point in time. You may not know what the results are going to be. However, if you have a vision and you can actually see down the road a little bit, it makes it so much easier to make decisions day to day. So,
yeah, at times, Russ, and you know this as well because you run your own business, but sitting in this chair can get a little lonely, right? And um, if you've established those relationships throughout your career, and people that you maintain those relationships, even if you don't work together anymore, um, it's great to have those people kind of as a sounding board. And I call on those people all the time. Some of them call on me, and I make sure that I do my absolute very best to pay that forward, right? Because I know how important that's been in my life. You you have to have a little bit of self confidence to make decisions, because I'm one of those people that learn when you sit in this chair, the higher in an organization you get, it just means there's that many more people that you work for,
Yeah.
right? Because I feel responsible for everybody that works here and their families. And we've done what I think is a fantastic job of making this a great environment for people to work in. And the end result of that, Russ, is I have almost zero voluntary attrition here. I think we've lost one employee voluntarily in the last 3 years. But we do try very hard to make this a great place for people to work. And the end result of that is I believe they work harder for you, and they take a lot of pride in what they do. And um, our guiding principles here are very simple, right? And I know you've seen this presentation with the green balls on it. In fact, around here the green balls are a little bit of a joke, because every time we're going to have an all-employee meeting, they're going, "Oh, great! Do we get to see the green balls again?" But those green balls, talk about it all starts with sales, right? That's the first green ball. You got to have strong sales, and
Yeah.
um, operationally, we got to be the best at what we do. Um, you know, uh, People, hire the best you can, and demand the best out of them, and then ultimately leadership, and that's to provide leadership. And you've been in my office, you know that the whole row of offices where our leadership team sits, there's not a single door on any of those offices, right? We took them all off. So
Yeah.
we literally have the open door policy here because there is no door. So,
Yeah.
but we have a great team of people, and it's working for us right now.
Well, it's taken us a while to get together and have this conversation. And I just think it's important for people to understand that there are ways that you can navigate and build up your community, build up your relationships, and build your business, because it's so amazing what can take place in today's day and age. With the internet and all the activity that you've got online, remote workers now, and everything I see opportunities everywhere. And the only thing stopping us from building on those opportunities is just going out there and getting started,
Yep.
taking a step forward and finding somebody that you can actually bounce things off of, like yourself. Outline a few ideas, make it happen, and continue to pursue and work on your business and grow your business. I think it's just an amazing time to be living right now in a lot of respects. Challenging times right now. However, those are also coming up. Those develop a lot of opportunities as well.
Yeah, Russ, I tell you what, you nailed it there, because I wake up every morning and am very, very thankful for everything. You try to stay humble, take nothing for granted, be appreciative of everything in your life that you've been blessed with, and again, try to pay that forward, and live by the golden rule, right? So makes life good.
Yeah. Wendy says, "Welcome to the posse." What a voice.
Hey, Wendy,
Wendy, don't you think that Mark's voice should be? It's a great radio voice. It's a great voice. So love it. Well, Mark, I thank you so much for being here. Appreciate the opportunity to have a conversation. I look forward to our live stream on May 5th, and some of the things that are taking place in our marketing efforts as well. And as always, a great friend, a great resource, and someone that I admire and respect. So thank you so much for being here, Mark. I appreciate it.
Russ, we appreciate you and everything you've done for us to help us, and and you as a person. I miss Miller's Cafe burgers with you. And so, if these people don't know, since Russ left Houston, I go to Miller's and have my own burger and send him a picture if it's about the best he gets right now. So, I look forward to those days again when you're back there. We can go share that burger. But I appreciate you having me on, and I love watching your broadcast. Wish you the best, and thanks for all you do.
Thank you so much. And as everyone knows, like, comment, and share this content. If you find somebody that's out there that needs this information, could be useful and helpful, please share it. And also, we do this every day because kindness is cool, smiles are free, and you enjoy the day. Don't go away, Mark.
Thanks.
Take care. Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.